Okay, so it's the business end of the season in Europe, and there are a couple leagues that are coming right down to the wire, with some titles as well as European spots coming right down to the points themselves between teams. So we're going to talk about tiebreakers. So what I mean by tiebreaker is at the end of the season, if two teams are in the same amount of points, there has to be something else that determines which one finishes above the other. The most common thing that's used in leagues is goal difference, the amount of goals that you've scored minus the amount of goals that you've given up throughout the entire season. Leagues like the Premier League in England do it this way. And that one's particularly important this year because Manchester City and Liverpool are very, very close on points. There's a 3-point gap at the moment, and it may come down to the goal difference, with them sitting on 64 and 68 goal difference at the moment. While goal difference is the most popular tiebreaker in most countries, it's not always the first one that's used. For example, in Italy, the first one is head-to-head results. And that's particularly important for AC Milan because in Serie A this season, it's coming down to the last 2 match days, and they have a 2-point lead over their city rivals, Internazionale. And if on the final day they're tied on points, AC Milan would win the title because they have a better head-to-head result in the 2 matches against Inter this season. And this doesn't apply just to the title itself in leagues, it also applies to any position in the table. This means that positions of who goes into European competitions comes down to points, and then to these tiebreakers as well. So each country has a range of tiebreakers, starting from one down to the next and the next and the next, if there's a situation where somebody just cannot be divided off of the things that come first. For example, in Germany, there's 1 match day left, and this weekend there are 4 different teams that can fill out the last couple spots in Europe, one in the Champions League, as well as the Europa League and the Europa Conference. Any difference in points is going to be big, but if they tie, there is a tiebreaker in Germany. It's goal difference, just like many other countries around the world. While these ones don't generally come into play to decide a spot, there are other ones as well that, as you go down the list, get more minuscule and minuscule. So I hope that comes in handy in the next couple weeks as the leagues wind down in Europe. Take a look at England as well as Italy. Those are 2 title races still going right down to the wire, as well as taking a look at the German race for the last Champions League spot, Europa League spot, and Europa Conference spot. And if you're looking at smaller leagues, one you might check out is the Croatian League, where the title may be won between one of 2 teams and is coming right down to the wire.